Well. How are we doing? So, yeah, there's a couple of you on here that you're probably wondering, what the hell is he doing? What is he doing? It's New Year's Eve, and he's doing a stream that isn't at his normal time. Even though I did a stream at my normal time, you can hear me, right? You know what? I'm not even gonna waste any time right now. I'm gonna drop the funk because y'all can hear that just fine. It is New Year's Eve, and the old gray-bearded one hit the big 500 today. Yes, we are at the 500 subscriber mark on New Year's Eve. Excuse me, I need some reparations coffee. Yes, brought to you by Gangster Rapid Coffee. Although we're throwing some funk down in the stream. I don't even know what I'm doing here. It's impromptu. It may get weird. It may not. Who knows? I am so happy that those of you who decided to stop in are stopping in. Good morning. Good afternoon, Mr. Dax, cameraman Jay, Necrosol Collins, Pirate Pete. Let's go. And if people come and drop in, yeah, you know what? I don't have any bourbon in it. I do have. I have some Baileys and Frangelico in my coffee right now because I'm done for the day. Hey, Functional, how you doing? Good morning, Beth Castleman. I'm happy to see you here. This is an impromptu stream. I might even do a few stories. I might talk to people. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just here to celebrate. And what a better day to celebrate than on New Year's Eve 2019. I mean, I'm ready. So I'm not really going to party tonight. Me and Lady Boom are actually just going to be at the, we're going out for dinner. Probably if you're here this morning, you already know that we're going out to dinner with a couple that, the parents of my son's girlfriend, because we've been friends with them for a long time, long before those two ever started dating. But, so we're going to hang out with them, and apparently, I just found out not too long ago that my son and his girlfriend will be joining us. So we're going out to a real nice restaurant. We go out at about 6 o'clock. We avoid all the amateur hours. And so we're going to go out, have a really nice dinner, and then be in. We'll watch a couple movies, probably at home, and probably fall asleep before midnight. In fact, we'll celebrate New Year's Eve with the New Yorkers just to get it, just so we can get to bed, because, you know, it's one of those amateur nights. But I might have a couple cocktails tonight. I might have to take an Uber. Who knows? But right now, we're here to celebrate the 500. Oh, that music's a little loud, isn't it? I just noticed how loud that was. Holy moly! I'm gonna turn it down just a tiny bit. That might be a little better. All right. So, and again, this is just some impromptu stuff. Thanks for coming by. You got the notification. That's awesome. Or you got the tweet. And thank you also, Necrosol, for the congratulations, and to Becca too. Becca, if you're in the background, thank you for tweeting out my impromptu show. Now, normally, during my day or in my morning, I get home from work. Thank you, Green Badger Outdoors. I appreciate the congratulations. Oh, by the way, Mr. Dax, you get an afternoon bell because it is Mr. Dax was first to jump into the stream. Thank you, Grill and Pirate Pete, for the retweet. Y'all are awesome. And you know what? I fully credit the whole 500 to you guys, because you guys are really good about sharing the stream out, and especially you guys who retweet and tell other people. And I know a lot, so I owe that to y'all. I'm looking forward to now my next goal. Obviously, we're going to try to get to 1,000 before July, but that's, you know what? If I keep doing my thing, hey, Richo, hello, John Connor, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If I figure if I just keep doing what I'm doing, people will catch on. And but you guys have been a great help as far as getting people to know about the show. And now too, like I said, I'm going to start having guests on Fridays. I still haven't gotten a reply though. in any case, I'm definitely going to have a guest this Friday. And I'm going to do that on a regular basis. I'm going to start making videos again in 2020. That'll help a lot. And, just as long as I somehow entertain you, I feel like this will keep growing and we'll have a lot more fun as we continue to make it grow. So now I noticed that this thing says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. You know what? I don't know what that, and it has a little more info tab. I'm not going to worry about it. Hello, D.I. Frady. Thank you very much. I see that you're here. Started. Oh, yeah, that's right. You got to go work. Starting workout. See you, peeps. Okay. Maybe you're going to lurk while you're doing it. I don't know. So I do have other stories that I never got to today. And in fact, I didn't even get through the entire list of the CNN news of the year, but I found a couple stories that I could get into this afternoon. And the first one is this one I got from spectator.org, and it's an interesting story just because it is 2021, May 2021. Okay, cool. And this is a decade of declining trust in the media. Public confidence in the Fourth Estate continues to plummet. That's a shocker. Anyone shocked by that at all? During a recent, this is from the American Spectator, written by Emmett Tyrell Jr. American Spectator is more on the right side of the political aisle. During a recent CNN interview, New Yorker editor David Remnick expressed consternation. Oh, that's too bad. Consternation with the public's refusal to accept at face value what the news media report about President Trump. Maybe it's because they get so much wrong. Work those twerk muscles. Yeah, there you go. Our intransience. Is that what it's? Intransient? It seems is a source of considerable frustration for the Fourth Estate. We don't understand why the evidence of things, why facts don't penetrate so many of our brothers and sisters in the United States of America. Remnick and the press corps, for whom he presumes to speak, evidently fail to comprehend that this patronizing attitude toward their brothers and sisters, quote unquote, is precisely what created and still drives public mistrust of the media. Nor does Remnick seem to realize that the erosion of public confidence in media began decades ago and continue to pace during the past 10 years. According to Gallup, the percentage of Americans who express very little confidence in television news increased from 31% in July of 2009 to 45% in June of 2019. Nearly half of the nation regards what they see on network and cable newscast as biased, or simply untrue in many cases. Those are my words. Newspaper and other media also lost considerable credibility during the past 10 years as to the overall veracity. Gallup reports that in 2019, a mere 13%. A couple things here. First, Jesus. All right, let's fix this. I'm going to fix this. We're going to turn the music off because I think that takes up too many resources. So we're going to do that. And I have a Hangouts window open. I'm going to close that and just see if that helps. And we should be able to get it going. All right. We're just not going to have any funk today. Like I said, I'm going to purchase I don't have a graphics card in this computer. We're going to add one, and that should take care of all of the problems that we have. Are we still buffering, or are we good? Looks like we're going good now. All right, there we go. Looks like it's fixed. Let's see if this goes. Are we good now? Are we back? I'm just going to have to go without the funk today, guys. As soon as I get that graphics card, we should be smooth sailing. I'll run most of the graphic stuff through that, and we should be good. All right, sorry, no funk today. No funk today. Let's finish this. Let's finish part of this article, though. All right, sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. So back to the article. Okay, so the shot in question featured two individuals, one in blackface, probably Northam, and the other in the KKK costume, although we still don't know for sure because Northam hasn't told us. The governor admitted that one of the two was indeed him, and the editors of the Post called for his resignation. And here's what they said at the time. Governor Ralph Northam can no longer effectively serve the people of Virginia who elected him. His shifting and credulity, shredding explanations for the racist photograph on his medical school yearbook page, and the silence in which he then succumbed for days after initially promising to do the hard work of atonement and apology to restore his standing. In the case of Mr. Northam, the circumstances are decisive, and what's done cannot be undone. He must go. However, shortly thereafter, he rescinded his confession, claiming that neither of the people in the photo could have been him because he has donned blackface but a single time for a talent show. He added, I have lots of African-American friends. He actually pulled out the I have a black friend card that usually doesn't work, but he used it anyway. Thank you, Renovaccio, for the congratulations on the 500. Woohoo! 500. Oh, by the way, share this stream. Do that stuff that we do normally. Share, and you can hit the like button if you like what we're doing. And the Streamlabs link, the tip jar is open. And remember that no one's hit the $2.99, $3.99, or $4.99. I'm going to put those in my description so you know what you get when you hit one of those special buttons. And no, I will not be adding the song Horsecock to any of mine, but I will find something similar. I feel like Horsecock is the proprietary song of Mr. Sinatra Says, and I will not be using Horsecock for one of my songs. So there. All right, now. Wow, there was still music going, wasn't there? Anyway, he rescinded his confession, claiming that neither of the people in the because he has black friends. When asked why Virginians should believe him, he offered the following quote: I was the president of the VMI Honor Court. Our code there is a cadet shall not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. That's the most meaningful thing in my life. I tell the truth. I'm telling the truth today. Yeah, right. Anyway, Northam was obviously lying, and as everyone knew at the time, yet the Post has now, as of as recently as a few days ago, given him absolution. Yes, absolution. Absolution. Governor Northam. In February, this is his quote. This is from the Post again. In February, most of Virginia's lawmakers, Democrats and Republicans, called on him to resign, as did an editorial on this page. Few of those calls were repeated for long, although the question of who is in the photo, if it is not Mr. Northam, remains unanswered. It helped that Virginia Republicans, rarely bothered by President Trump's race baiting, lack any credibility to criticize Mr. Northam. Most potent, it helped that he set himself an agenda on racial equality and pursued it single-mindedly. Oh, they gave him absolution. Now, it could be more obvious that the Post reversed itself for one reason. Northam is a Democrat who purchased his special suspension with a leftward lurch that included a radical gun control law and an extremist pro-abortion position. As the gratuitous and false cheap shots at President Trump demonstrate, there isn't the slightest chance that any Republican would receive any such leniency. Indeed, 1 week before the Northam scandal broke, Florida's GOP Secretary of State had to resign after photos surfaced of him wearing blackface 14 years earlier. The Post hasn't attempted to rehabilitate his reputation. So, yeah, and I personally, I talked about this before. I personally just don't give a shit. Something someone did, Northam's was back in 1984 maybe. It was way back a long time ago when, it was a stupid thing to do. It was a tasteless costume, but it was a costume, and I don't give a shit. And but if they're going to force people out for that, then let's force everybody out for that, not just Republicans. Hello, Shiagraph, and good afternoon, damn it, Chadwick. Yes, I made it. We did hit that 500 mark. The Washington Post, of course, is not alone. It's in hypocrisy. The Independent reports that a special dispensation was issued by CNN's Vice President of Digital Partnerships, Matt Dornick, when it was discovered by the Log Cabin Republicans that the network's White House correspondent, Caitlin Collins, had tweeted anti-gay slurs in college. When the news got out, Collins issued an apology via Twitter. Quote, "When I was in college, I used ignorant language in a few tweets to my friends. It was immature, but it doesn't represent the way I feel at all. I regret it and apologize." Dornick followed up with a generous tweet in which he defended her. Quote, "I am a proud gay man. I am a proud friend of Caitlin Collins, though I am disappointed that she ever used the word. Even as a college kid, I can say with certainty it doesn't reflect her feelings toward the LGBTQ community. She's apologized, and I accept it." Awesome. Hello, Zombie Teddy. Thank you. Does anyone believe that Dornick would respond as generously if similar slurs had been written by a White House correspondent for Fox or any other conservative media outlet? Collins is by no means the first progressive to commit this particular sin and get away with it. Last year, Miss Nobody Cares News, MSNBC, Joy Reid came under fire for a series of old blog posts containing a variety of anti-gay slurs. Joy Reid, are you serious? Joy Reid? Joy Reid? According to Politico, Reid claimed, this was awesome, that the site's archives had been hacked by the denizens of the dark web for purposes of inserting the slurs. MSNBC accepted this nonsense, and she continues to fabricate tales about President Trump and his supporters. Hey, Maniac Man, how you doing? Oh, dude. Ooh, be careful. It's not difficult to imagine what would happen if Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity had committed those crimes similar to those of Joy Reid or Caitlin Collins, nor is it hard to remain in office in the face of revelations such as those which emerged concerning Virginia's governor. Yet, this just scratches the surface of the media malpractice to which the public has been subjected. So why are David Remnick and his colleagues so mystified by public skepticism concerning their reporting of the president's alleged crimes? It should be clear that an increasing number of Americans intuitively understand what Mark Twain was getting at when he wrote, quote, "A thunderstorm made Beranger a poet. A mother's kiss made Benjamin West a painter. And a salary of $15 a week makes a journalist." Ah, yes. Yes, David Caron, very nice. Nicely put. Thank you very much for that great article. Good afternoon, Johnny Hellcat. How you doing? Thanks for being here. I am so happy you stopped by. Look, hey, everything seems to be going smoothly. Do you think I should just try again with maybe it was just that Windows, that Hangout Windows. Let me see if I'm gonna try to throw a little little background music again. If it doesn't work, we'll just shut it off again and make sure the stream keeps going smoothly. But I feel like, on my 500th show, we got to have some funk. And I just feel like maybe, just maybe it'll work without the hangout window. Maybe it was the hangout window that's causing all my distress. It certainly screwed up my stream this morning. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't beat yourself up. Jesse Smollett. Yes, Pirate Pete, ain't that the truth? Jesse Smollett, if anybody, would know that lesson better than most of the world. All right, so here, let me try a little funk again, because I don't want to bust out your ears. Hold up. Okay, I did that. I clicked that so you wouldn't get the first blast. Let's try this. Let's get my volume right. All right, I think I got it. Now, y'all can tell me if this is too loud. Personally, I don't even know what too loud means, but I'll just, it already did it, didn't it? Is it skipping? No, it didn't. Okay, let me see if my computer can at least process a little funk. All right, let me hit the right button here, click that button, and we'll click this button. You'll just have to tell me if it's too loud or not. Oh, that can't even hear that. Oh, there it is. All right, now I'm just gonna get close to the mic, because you know what? It may be a little loud, but this is how it's gonna be today. It's my 500 subscriber special, and honestly, y'all, you did it. Because yes, I have to put the show on every day, but you guys are the ones who help me get people to come by. And you know what? Most people who show up seem to come back, at least every once in a while. I see names up here that I don't see all the time, but I know that you come and see me every once in a while. And I'm so happy. That is a little loud, isn't it? I can just tell by how the monitor's going. All right, we're going to turn it down just a tad. All right. Now, let's... Ooh, I got, and, all right, let's see here. Oh, this is weird. Now, if you've been following, I'm just throwing some, so California is actually about to lose congressional seats according to the census. This is strange. An unusual part of it is because population growth in other parts of the country have exceeded, and California is actually losing people. This is a Breitbart article. You know the drill. Oops, I don't want to do an outro. Here, let's see this one. Oh, let's see, that'll work. Oh, there we go. Good. So this is saying that California is going to lose a congressional seat for the first time in history. For the first time in history, California has failed to grow. New figures from the U.S. Census ahead of the 2020 decennial count suggest that California could lose a seat in Congress for the first time in history. Whether other Sunbelt states stand to gain congressional representation, the Wall Street Journal reported Monday, citing U.S. Census Bureau figures on state population changes through July 1st. California, once a symbol of the nation's westward growth, will likely lose a congressional seat. Hello, Jaeger Pony. The Journal reported that California will join the cold states in the Northeast and Midwest in losing political clout. Based on Monday's figures, Texas is poised to gain 2 congressional seats, and Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Montana, North Carolina, and Oregon are expected to gain 1. Now let's just stop right there. Now, I don't think that's going to change. It's unlikely to change Congress too much. You got to remember, a lot of these people going into these Southwest and Northwest states are coming from California, and it could be a case of they might be changing the demo where they move. So who knows what that's going to do? The actual, let's see, 8 states are expected to lose 1 seat. California, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and West Virginia. You know what's kind of humorous about that? And I'm going to take New York as an example. The Democrats in New York, remember how they said the other Democrats in New York, other than that one particular congressperson who jumped onto the scene in 2019, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they might redistrict her out of her seat. Oh my gosh. But Texas needs to defend its red status. Yeah, Texas is poised to gain 2 congressional seats, and I don't know that that's necessarily meaning they're going to get 2 more Republican seats. But that's neither here nor there. I just think it's funny that redistricting could take out Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, although she is being primary. That's going to be interesting to see if she gets voted back in. I know there's tons and tons of money coming in for her. It's buffering for a second. Are we doing a little buffering again? Okay, we're good. We're still going. I just want to make sure that we don't lose the show here. Let me know. Let me know if it's buffering. 17 minutes ago. Okay. Anyway, the actual reapportionment calculation will take place by December 2020, with its details worked out in 2021. So this will not happen prior to the next election. Each state will redraw its legislative maps, and those that have more than 1 congressional seat will redraw districts too. The shift of political power away from the Northeast and Midwest towards the Southeast and Southwest is the result of residents flocking to states with warm weather, strong job growth, cheaper housing, and in some cases, lower taxes. Texas, lower taxes. Texas, lower taxes. And Arizona. The likely loss of representation could come despite California helping to lead the resistance. Yes, the buzzword bell is ringing. It didn't buffer. Okay, we're good. The resistance to President Donald Trump proposal to add a question to the census asking respondents if they are U.S. citizens. California and other states feared that they could lose congressional seats if they were subsequently apportioned based on the number of citizens rather than the number of residents. California is a prime destination for immigrations, including illegal ones. So anyway, that's very interesting that California lose a seat for the first time. Texas gain a couple seats. My state will lose. Oh my God, what the hell was that? Must be the Frangelico. Anyway, that's interesting. Yeah, my state's going to lose a seat too. I didn't realize we were losing population. Although it's not so much necessarily that we've lost population, it's that other states have grown in population. Not to bring down today, but today's the day Roberto Clemente's plane went down during humanitarian relief efforts. Oh man. Yeah, that was sad. Thank you. Okay, wait a minute. Let me finish with Shiograd. Yeah, Roberto Clemente, one of the great baseball players back in the day, and yeah, his plane went down. Maybe I should find something on that. Let's talk about. Let's do a little tribute to Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente. Let me find this real quick. Here, we'll just do a little Wikipedia. How's that sound? So, if you're not familiar with Roberto Clemente, Roberto Enrique Clemente Walker was born August 18th, 1934, died December 31st, 1972. He was a Puerto Rican professional baseball right fielder who played 18 seasons in Major League Baseball for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1973, becoming both the first Latin American and Caribbean player to be enshrined. His untimely death established the precedent that, as an alternative to the 5-year retirement period. A player who has been deceased for at least 6 months is eligible for entry into the Hall of Fame. Clemente was an All-Star for 12 seasons, playing 15 All-Star games. He was the National League Most Valuable Player in 1966, NL batting leader in 1961, 64, 65, and 67, and a Gold Glove winner for 12 consecutive seasons from 1961 through 1972. His batting average, now this is an amazing stat for if you're into baseball. His batting average was over 300 for 13 seasons, and he had 3,000 hits during his major league career. He also played in 2 World Series championships. Clemente is the first Latin American and Caribbean player to help win a World Series as a starting position player, 1960, to receive a National League MVP award, 1966, and to receive a World Series MVP award, 1971. He was involved in charity work in Latin America and Caribbean countries during the off seasons, often delivering baseball equipment and food to those in need. On December 31st, 1972, he died in a plane crash while en route to deliver aid to earthquake victims in Nicaragua. He was 38 years old. The following season, the Pirates retired his uniform number 21, and Major League Baseball renamed its annual Commissioner's Award in his honor. Known as the Roberto Clemente Award, it is given to the player who best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to his team. So he is absolute legend of baseball, amazing baseball player. I was barely old enough to remember him playing. Although I do remember, when I was a little kid, he played for the Pirates, and he was just, that team was really, really good. I think, was that the year? No, it was 74 when Louis Tiant that was the pitcher. But anyway, so there's a little bit about Roberto Clemente. He died on this day in 1972. Quick hello to Seamus Derby, Irate Prostate. And okay, there we go. So, that's sad. Thanks for bringing that up, Sheograth. I completely forgot about that. All right, what else we got? More of a Killebrew and a Mantle fan, but Clemente's a legend himself. LOL. Well, yeah, Harmon Killebrew, the great Minnesota Twin. He was awesome too. Let's see. Let's stay on this. Oh, this is interesting. Now, what's this? Now, I didn't even see this article, but this is from the Daily Wire. We were just talking about how the census is changing how the congressional apportionment. California is going to lose a seat. Texas is going to gain 2. New York's probably going to lose a seat by the next census, which is crazy. People are moving out of New York in droves, too. It's amazing how the states with super high taxes are losing people, and the states with lower taxes and warmer weather are gaining people. It's amazing. Apparently, a new census data... Let me get the right screen here. New census data suggests previous report wrong. Republican states gaining seats in Congress. Now, I don't like how they wrote this. This is Ryan Saavedra. Republican states that are now Republican states. The problem is they may not be Republican states after people keep moving around. You wonder if they're going to stay that way. Newly released data from the U.S. Census Bureau Monday suggested some Republican states are set to gain seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, while some Democrat states are set to lose seats, not states. Editing, internet editing at its finest. Those states, according to the new analysis. Based on Monday's figures, Texas is poised to gain 2 congressional seats. Okay, it's the same article. Why is this? What's different about this article and the last? Kimball Brace, president of the bipartisan political consulting firm Election Data Services, told the Wall Street Journal that he expects the changes will benefit the Republican Party. Maybe, maybe not. The big states that are very much Democratic are in a loss situation, Brace said. Democrats say in Texas and Arizona, the growth of the Latino populations, and new residents from other states could eventually turn them blue. The Wall Street Journal added, Democrats note how population movements in recent years have moved the partisan makeup of some states in their favor, including Virginia and Colorado. The Wall Street Journal reports directly refutes a report from a little over a week ago from the Center for Immigration Studies, which the Daily Wire covered at the time. That claimed that immigration was set to shift over 20 seats from pro-Trump states to pro-Clinton states. The CIS reported the presence of all immigration, naturalized citizens, legal residents, and legal aliens, and their U.S.-born minor children will redistribute 26 seats in the House in 2020. To put this number in perspective, changing the party of 21 members of the current Congress would flip the majority in the U.S. House. Of the 26 seats that will be lost, 24 are from states that voted for Donald Trump in 2016. Of states that will gain House seats because of immigration, 19 seats will go to the solidly Democratic states of California, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Illinois. Texas is the only solidly Republican state that gains, while Florida is a swing state. But the biggest takeaway from the Wall Street Journal report is the revelation that California will actually lose a congressional seat, which is what we just did there. Just hit a 1S buffer. God darn it. I might have to just drop the music because I don't want buffering. I do not want buffering. Okay, it's running. You know what? I'm gonna lose the tunes. And boy, will I be happy when I install this graphics card. All right. Anyway, we already talked about this. I'm gonna stop doing that one. Sorry, I'm not being super professional. This is an impromptu stream. So, Amazing Hoplite. I did not see you come in. Didn't Clemente work for Cock Full of Nuts? You mean Chock Full of Nuts? I don't know. Hey, let's look that up, because this is the impromptu stream where I can do whatever the hell I want without a format. Let's see. Let's go. Roberto Clemente, and Chock Full of Nuts. Yeah, I don't know. Chock Full of Nuts is the... No, that was Jackie Robinson. Hey, P-Dog is streaming again, and I'm off to work. Woohoo. Oh, you're off work. Hey, Lindsay, I didn't even see you come in. No, that was actually that was Jackie Robinson. He was a vice president of Chock Full of Nuts. I wasn't even sure what you were talking about there. I think I knew that though. Anyway, all right, let's get out of the immigration crap and let's try to check someone else. Oh, interesting. Okay, since it's kind of a retrospective time, there is an article here from the Daily Caller, and we've been talking about. So let's see. Today is Tuesday. On Friday, we went through stories from the decade, right? We kind of went through 10 stories from the 2010s, and then this morning we did some stories from 2019. Just going through the CNN photo montage, which it was hilarious. We were going through that photo montage this morning, and they left out the Covington kids. I'm just like, how do you do that? But now, let's see, the Daily Caller has an article of something about 2019, and this one's called Trump's Biggest Wins of 2019. Now, I am intrigued. I'm not sure what Trump's biggest wins of 2019 are, but hey, let's find out what the Daily Caller thinks those might be. I was in the chat in your morning stream, but I was mostly in lurking mode due to work. But I got a half day today. Well, you know what? And I hope you enjoy that half day. I hope you have fun in New Year's. And in fact, in the chat, let me check this real quick. Oh my gosh, we got quite a few people here. I didn't realize that. In the chat, we were talking this morning. If you didn't get to put, if you weren't here this morning, in the chat we were talking about what you guys are going to be doing for New Year's Eve. Like I said, Lady Boomer and I are going to go out to dinner with some good friends of ours who just happen to be the parents of my son's girlfriend also. And apparently, like I said earlier, I found out that my son and his girlfriend are going to be joining us for dinner tonight. That's going to be at around 6 o'clock. And then after our lovely meal, Lady Boomer and I are going to come home and watch movies like we do almost every New Year's Eve. And I am going to cook collard greens. That's kind of the tradition in our house. I don't know why. I talked about this morning. Black-eyed peas are supposed to be the thing you cook on New Year's Eve for good luck. But I don't like black-eyed peas. I never have. And so I figured I'd try it. I did collard greens about 4 years ago. Lady Boomer loved them. And that's how we went with it. That's what we went with. And so there you go. So tell me what you're going to do for New Year's Eve. If you got any big plans, I'd love to hear about them in the chat while we're moving on. So let's talk about Trump's biggest wins in 2019. According to the Daily Caller, let's see. President Trump's third year in office is coming to a close after a very eventful 2019. While impeachment dominated the news headlines over the past several months, the administration also managed many accomplishments throughout the year. To wrap up the year, we've created the list of Trump's biggest wins in 2019. Interesting. Here we go. Number one, or the top one here, judicial appointments. And this is the one, I think this is the one that is the biggest reason the Democrats want him out of office as soon as they can. I'm pretty confident that this one they mentioned first is why he's being impeached more than any other reason why they want him gone. They are, and it's 3 words, not judicial appointments, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They're trying to damage him. They're trying to find a way to beat him in 2020 because they know that, one, I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg wants to retire before while she has the little time that she has on Earth. She's gone through some serious health issues, and she's in serious health issues, and the Democrats are terrified that Trump could appoint another Supreme Court justice. And in fact, Mitch McConnell has already said if she steps down or for some reason is no longer on the court as of this year, they're going to push through a nominee in 2020. And because it's the same party, the Senate and the Senate and the president are the same party. And, the Democrats are going to wail bloody murder because he didn't put in through Gorsuch. Is that his name? No, not Gorsuch. Who's the guy that they didn't put through? Merrick Garland. When Obama nominated Merrick Garland in the last months of his presidency, and the Senate had been taken over by the Republicans, they were not going to appoint somebody of different parties until after the election. Well, they're different. They're not different parties this time. So anyway, let's see. Judicial appointments. President Trump has managed to reshape the judiciary branch in his image. Now, here's the thing. He hasn't reshaped it in his image, but he has reshaped it into conservative image. He's been putting conservative judges in these places. Now, because Trump, in my eyes, and this is where I had trouble with him when he ran in 2016, Trump's not really a conservative Republican, although he has governed as though he were elected that way. Which is fine with me. I don't have any problem with that. But I've always thought of Trump as a New York Democrat, although, but he changed. He changed parties, and I am fine with the policies that Trump has gotten through in his presidency. But anyway, managed to reshape the judiciary branch in his image by nominating an unprecedented number of federal judges to the bench. The Senate has confirmed 187 Trump-nominated judges in just 3 years. I need a sip of coffee before I cough again. This means that 20% of the federal judiciary is now made up of Trump appointments. That's wild. Much of this administration's success can be credited to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, whose unparalleled focus on judicial appointments has ensured that nominees don't sit very long before being confirmed. While members of the House debated rules for impeaching the president several weeks ago, McConnell pushed 13 nominated judges through the Senate. Okay. Cryptic, how you doing, man? I'm glad you are here. The 9th and 6th Circuit is slowly going conservative since Trump. Yeah, not there yet, but I think several circuits have changed over. People forget Kavanaugh isn't conservative. Yeah, no, he's not really. I mean, he's middle of the road from a judge standpoint. In fact, there's some things that you got to have reservations about Kavanaugh about. Anyway, the second thing, we're going through the Trump's biggest wins of 2019. If you're just getting here, second one, the Mueller report. Special counsel Robert Mueller released a report stemming from his 2-year-long investigation into Russian collusion this past April. Mueller was unable to establish that Trump or his campaign participated in a conspiracy to work with the Russian government to influence the 2016 election. And I'm just laughing because, remember, I'm going to say late in 2016, maybe, there was this guy, kind of a bug-eyed dude, kind of a skinny neck guy in Congress. I think you all know his name, who claimed that they had hard evidence that Trump colluded with Russia. Hard evidence. They had the smoking gun. And yet, 2.5 years of investigation by a special counsel, former FBI director Robert Mueller did not reach a conclusion on whether or not the president obstructed justice, nor the conspiracy to influence the election with the Russians. And this all, I'm going to finish the sentence now, compelling Attorney General Bill Barr to announce that the Department of Justice would not pursue the angle, obstructing justice, against the president. The report appeared to knock down years of speculation that Trump colluded with Russia to get elected, clearing a major cloud that hung over his presidency since inauguration. Yes! You got it in the chat. The, quote, pencil-necked, unquote, one himself, Adam Schiff, Adam Schitz, Schiff for brains, all the nicknames are classic. Anyway, moving on. Also a win for Trump in 2019, killing al-Baghdadi. Who's your daddy? I didn't forget. Trump greenlighted a U.S. Special Forces raid in late October that led to the death of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Who's your daddy? The leader of ISIS and one of the world's most wanted terrorists. Al-Baghdadi, who's your daddy, was reportedly chased into a dead-end tunnel by a Special Forces K-9 where the ISIS leader is believed to have detonated a suicide vest that killed himself and 3 children. Shortly after the raid, Trump announced that the U.S. had also killed al-Baghdadi's, who's your daddy, replacement. Just confirmed that Abu al-Baghdadi's, who's your daddy, number 1 replacement has been terminated by American troops. Most likely would have taken the top spot, and now he is also dead. Another win for the Trump administration in 2019, the Phase 1 trade deal with China. U.S. and China are set to sign a Phase 1 trade deal next week, early in January, the result of pressure from tariffs and negotiations between the two countries. Trump made standing up to China one of the main components of his presidency, promising American farmers that he would work out a better deal for them. The Phase 1 deal includes some tariff relief, more Chinese purchases of American agricultural goods, and further protections on intellectual property. And another win for Trump in 2019. Now, this next one, I just go, huh? But it is a win for Trump because the Democrats gave it to him in the House. Space Force. Trump signed a 2020 National Defense Authorization Act into law on December 20th, which formally created the U.S. Space Force. The Space Force became the sixth independent branch of the military and was the first new military service to be created in more than 70 years. Along with NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine, Trump has redoubled American efforts to be the leader in space exploration and defense. Wow. Are we getting? Oh, we're getting some. Let's see. Just some people hanging out for New Year's. Cynical Lindsay, thanks. I'm sure we will. We went for New Year's Eve in 2018 and had a blast. Where'd you go? Maniac Man. Find Maniac Man. Oh, going to a local geek bar, ringing the new year, drinking, playing arcade games, and see an NES game music cover band. You know what? There's a hello, furry kitten. How you doing? Glad you're here. If I don't pop back in, and congrats on the 500. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There is an awesome geek bar, and I don't know why a gaming bar in Omaha. I went home. Was it 2 years ago? We went home for something. And my son went with me, and my nephew took us out to this bar that it's full of vintage pinball machines, full of like video games. They had vintage like tabletop games like Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, Galaga, Space Invaders. What's the one where you shoot at rocks? Anyway, it was a hoot going to that bar, and then all kinds of like actual like pinball machines, like the real thing. So those are always fun. So I hope you have fun, Lindsay. That sounds awesome. Now just watch us be attacked by aliens and defeated by the Space Force, guaranteeing a 2020 win. That would be hilarious. Okay, another win for Trump in 2019. Thank you, Tyler F. Welcome, and thank you for the congrats. I appreciate it. The USMCA trade deal. The Democratic-controlled House overwhelmingly passed Trump's U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement in mid-December, handing the president a major win on trade. So that's two major trade deals. Asteroids, thank you. Oh, I used to love that game. I played that. I was really good at that, too. That and Space Invaders was always fun. Anyway, those are my two favorite games at the roller skating rink. The Democratic House overwhelmingly passed Trump's U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, USMCA, in mid-December, handing the president a major win in trade. USMCA, which every time I read that word, USMCA, I want to like go into the YMCA dance. It's fun to trade at the USMCA or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Which was negotiated as a replacement for the North American Free Trade Agreement, also known as NAFTA, requires automobiles to be 75% manufactured in the U.S., provides more labor protections for Mexican workers, and adjusts the trade balances between the three countries. Okay. Another win for Trump in 2019, record stock market gains. Remember how... Now, this was the funniest thing. So the stock market's been going up, and, when Paul, for example, when Trump was running for president, a lot of the New York Times type economists like Paul Krugman and a lot of these other people were all, and even Hillary Clinton was predicting that Trump's policies would be disastrous for the economy. It would send us spiraling out of control in whatever. And the only thing, the one part, well, the debt is one that is a little bit of point of consternation for me, but they all said that the economy was going to just be shattered if Trump became president. And then earlier this year, there was one day, and I remember it distinctly. There was one day where there was a 800-point drop in the stock market. Now, in many years past, an 800-point drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, I should say. An 800-point drop in the Dow at one point in time would be devastating, right? And so I remember it was a column by David Frum, I believe. Was it David Frum? I'm pretty sure it was David Frum, who on that day of an 800-point drop in the stock market was writing on Twitter where he said, this is awful. Trump received from President Obama a booming economy. And he took this booming economy and he's turned it into a severe recession. And when I read the words severe recession, my little dog ears perked up. They went, ooh, whoa. Severe recession? What the fuck are you talking about, Paul Krugman? Not Krugman, sorry, David Frum. What the hell are you talking about? First of all, the booming economy under Barack Obama? You mean where growth barely averaged 1% over the 8 years he was in office? And then when Trump came into office, we got up into 3 and 4, between 3 and 4%. The economy grew so much faster because just some changes that were made. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Oh, he's talking about this 800-point drop in the stock market. Well, at the time, the Dow was at like 25,000. It was less than barely a 2% change or 2.5% change in the market, which market fluctuations of 2% are nothing. And I'm like, what is he talking about, this severe recession? I said, you know what? I bet if you wait 2 days, that entire 800-point drop will be erased. And lo and behold, 2 days later, the entire 800-point drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average was erased. It was all better in 2 days. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Didn't David Frum just 2 days ago say something about that we were in a severe recession? Does he think people are stupid? A recession has nothing to do with the stock market. A recession is when you have negative growth for more than two quarters, I think, or whatever in a row. And no, hadn't happened yet. We've had positive growth every month of Trump's presidency. So when I read this record stock market gains, I go, David Frum's a dumbass. Anyway, record stock market gains. 2019 was another banner year for the economy, with Trump presiding over record stock market gains. Now, it's not necessarily Trump, but you know what's also amazing about this record stock market game? You would think that so what the stock market's like, the stock market's like stability. And I thought for sure when the Democrats finally, after months of hearings and investigations and whatnot, when they finally came out with their articles of impeachment and they voted on it, I thought for sure the stock market would lose at least something, But the day they did that, the stock market hit another record high. And I'm thinking, you know what? And listen, instability is the death of the stock market. And yet, on a day they voted for impeachment, the stock market went up slightly. And I only have to think that the people who do investments and all that stuff that have to do with the stock market, I have to think that they think impeachment is going to be a big fat nothing burger. I think they realize that the impeachment is not going to work. I mean, unless there's some major revelation coming out. But they see, the people who invest are like, you know what? Don't mean nothing. Things are going to be just stable and everything's going to be fine. So I'm pretty amazed that that happened. But anyway, the Nasdaq top 9,000 for the first time ever. The Dow Jones Industrial Average hit 28,621. The S&P 500 marked its 34th record close, hitting 3239.91 on Thursday, December 26th. That's after impeachment. It's amazing. The stocks continue to bring good news for investors throughout the Trump presidency. That's a win. It's because the Senate won't remove Trump. Well, I know, yeah, they're not going to remove Trump. Hi, Jim Beam. Thank you. And I appreciate the congrats. I appreciate that very much. Another win for Trump in 2019, the Remain in Mexico program. And this one, you don't hear about it as much, but it's pretty interesting. Trump has implemented a number of new immigration policies since taking office to try to combat the national security and humanitarian crisis on the southern border. But arguably, the most successful in the administration's perspective has been the Migrant Protection Protocols program, also known as the Remain in Mexico policy. And he negotiated this with Mexico. It's amazing. The MPP program requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their claims are processed in the U.S., clearing some of the overcrowding from U.S. detention centers. In September, nearly 50,000 asylum seekers were held in Mexico under the program. Just 11 of those individuals ultimately qualified for asylum. Oh my God. I had no idea. 50,000 asylum seekers, 11 qualified for asylum because they're not coming here for asylum. And I don't care what people who get mad about the whole immigration mess down there say. They're always saying they're refugees. They're here to seek asylum. They don't qualify for asylum because they don't qualify for the criteria of asylum. Very few do. Because and you know what? Economic migrants under international law, don't qualify for asylum. Sorry. Thank you, Shrouded Angel. I'm glad to see you here, and I appreciate your well wishes. Appreciate it. All right. Another win for Trump in 2019, the hostage negotiations. Yeah, this is one of those things that Trump has been. I hadn't noticed this during the past two administrations, and Trump seems to be really good at getting hostages returned. I don't know what it is. The Trump administration managed to negotiate the release of more American hostages this year, including Kevin King, 63, who was held in Afghanistan for 3 years, and American graduate student Xiaoyi Wang, who was held in Iran for 3 years. Wang's case, the administration claimed that they gave up little to Iran in exchange for his release. No sanctions relief, no pallet of cash, no change of policy, a State Department official told the Daily Caller. The administration, led by Robert O'Brien, also notably negotiated rapper A$AP Rocky's release from the Swedish prison after he was convicted of assault. Oh, the funniest thing about that one is during the congressional hearings and testimony to the House committees that were trying to figure out impeachment, A$AP Rocky's name came up. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh. Record low unemployment, another win for the Trump administration in 2019. The employment rate dropped to 3.5% several times this year, the lowest rate on record since December 1969. Job gains also routinely outpaced economic predictions this year. For example, the U.S. economy added 266,000 jobs in November, while economists guessed that just 187,000 jobs would be added. Black and Hispanic unemployment have been at their lowest levels since the U.S. started recording those categories. In September, the black unemployment rate hit 5.5%, while Hispanic unemployment rate hit 3.9%. Also a win in 2019, deregulation. Trump has outperformed his own promise to cut 2 regulations for every new one implemented since he took office. According to the White House, the administration has actually cut 8.5 regulations for every new rule. Perhaps the administration's most talked about deregulatory efforts have been related to the environment. For example, Trump rolled back the Obama administration's Waters of the U.S. rule, which saw farmers facing jail time and significant fines for being unable to comply with the rule. In one case, a 77-year-old Navy veteran served 18 months in prison after digging ponds around his property to keep wildfires at bay. The Environmental Protection Agency determined that the ponds were too close to navigable water, and thus the veteran needed a permit for them. Trump similarly got rid of Obama-era rules that banned certain types of light bulbs, forcing American consumers to buy more expensive, energy-efficient bulbs. Although now, the only good thing about that, and we use pretty much LEDs in all our lights now because now they have the warm, glowing LEDs and shit like that. But the prices of those have come down a lot. So I not that I think that they should have. I think that would have happened anyway, because people want to save money on their electric bills. But the idea that they banned them was just, I don't know, just silly. Okay, and then finally, the salute to America. Thank you, Pete. Thanks for. I'll mention that in a second. And then salute to America. A win for Trump in 2019. Trump managed to unite Americans for at least one day on the 4th of July with his Salute to America parade, a demonstration of patriotism, military might, and American exceptionalism. The parade featured military flyovers, the U.S. Army Band, and a fireworks display. Thousands of Americans lined up on the National Mall to watch the president deliver a speech honoring U.S. history and the military, despite the fact that it rained most of the day. Now, the best thing about that one is everyone was expecting Trump to come out and deliver one of those kind of sidewinders political speeches that he likes to do, just messing with people. But instead, he came out and gave a very appropriate speech, just talking about the history of the military and just things about America. That it ended up being a very nonpartisan speech that if any other president would have given that speech, they would have been praised for years to come. But again, it is President Trump, so I'm not expecting him to get any praise. But it was one of those speeches that I'm like, wow, he did a good job of just making this about the event and about heritage and whatnot, and not about him, which I don't always expect from him. So good for Trump. So those are the accomplishments. The what do they call it? What was the name of this article? Trump's biggest wins of 2019. So there you go. Looking in the chat again. I haven't been in here. Let's see. Let's not forget, Peter Knight. The same people will say that America, the West, is white supremacy, yet all these non-whites want to come to the West. Yeah, that ain't that the truth. Let's see. Not a fan of DNB's style. Who DNB? Who am I thinking here? DNB. I'm not sure. I have to. Now my mind's going to mush here. I'm gonna tell the left all of the refugees are white and watch them change their mind. Yeah, the Keep Them in Mexico program, when they're not having when they're not refugees. And only 11 of 50,000. Now, that doesn't mean they've processed 50,000 applications, but still, so far, 11 of those. Maybe it was 50,000. I need to read that again. Let's see. In September, nearly 50,000 asylum seekers were held in Mexico under the program. Just 11 of those individuals. Oh, okay. So, yeah, of 50,000 applications, 11 qualified. That's nuts. Anyway. All right. What else can we do? Gosh, I feel bad. I was going to see if anyone wanted to pop into the stream, but now graphics card. Buy that graphics card and install it. I have to install it too. I think it's not that hard. It's just put it in the slot, turn a couple screws, right? um, so let's see. Let's get into. I got a couple others, and then we're gonna call it a day because gotta get ready for the big dinner tonight. Yeah. What are y'all doing for New Year's? Drum and bass. Trump also forced BLM to relocate west, since most of our national parks are in the west and not in DC. Oh, the Bureau of Land Management. Yeah, it's so wild. Doesn't that make sense completely? I mean, most of the most of the national parks, the big, especially the ones that need management, it's the Bureau of Land Management. It's great that moved to where the land is. Those energy efficient low pressure fluorescents are good for the environment. Well, apart from the mercury, yeah, you know what? I don't use. Yeah, the fluorescents are not good for the environment, but the LED technology has changed. So now we have all LED lights in our house, where it did make a big difference on our electric, but we saw it when we replaced them all. And they have like you can have the daylight style LEDs, or you can do the like the soft white, like you would it gives you the same kind of light as an incandescent bulb, but it uses about 1/20th of the energy that an incandescent bulb uses. So no, don't use the fluorescents. Spend a little more money. The fluorescents are cheaper, but spend just a little bit more money and get the LEDs, and they last forever. We have light bulbs. The first ones we changed are the ones in our family room. We changed those when they first came out. And we used to have to pay like $22 a piece for them. Now you can get 6 to 8 for $12-14. But those have been there for at least 7 years, and we haven't changed them. So yeah, the LED ones are way, way better. Don't buy fluorescent lights; they suck. Much like sex, installing new cards is easy enough. Push it in far enough till it clicks, and twist the screws. Yes, Geograth. Thank you for the descriptive method of installing a graphics card. Yes. Oh, I want. Okay, let me read this again. Much like sex, installing new cards is easy enough. Push it in far enough until it clicks, then twist the screws. Sexy time. I use LED and cob. My lighting for the flat runs at 12 watts for the full daylight. COB. I'm not sure what COB is, but yeah, I love the LEDs. And there's only the only ones we don't have that are LEDs are the ones up there. Oh no, those are LED now too. I changed them all. Never mind. But yeah, they really use very, very, very little energy. All right, what else we got here? I got a Hunter Biden story, but I don't know if we. You heard it. We kind of talked about Hunter Biden and his $156 million counterfeiting scheme with Burisma. I think we talked about that the other day. Let's see. We'll skip that. You heard the story about the McDonald's coffee cup guy, the anti-police message. Well, I don't know if they've put an update on this story, but I know there's an update to the story. So this says a police ordering coffee at a McDonald's in Kansas found a vulgar anti-police message written on the cup, according to Fox News. The incident occurred at a McDonald's in Junction City, Kansas. When the officer stopped on his way to work, ordered the coffee, found the words "effing pig" written on the side of the cup. Well, there's an update to that story. Security cameras prove that the employees didn't write it on the cup, but the officer himself wrote the slur on his cup, and he's been fired, and his career's probably gone to crap. So I'm going to gonna just pass on that story. It's from a couple days ago. This is here's another fascinating one though. Bill de Blasio, y'all familiar with Bill de Blasio, the esteemed mayor of New York City? Well, Bill de Blasio claims that New York City is the safest big city in America. You know that one GIF that everybody uses. You know the GIF that everyone uses. The guy kind of looks like Ron Howard. You know which one I'm talking about? Where he gives one of these. I don't know if I did it right. You can't. Oh, well, yeah, you can't really see what I'm doing there, can you? He gives you one of these. Well, that's what I was doing when I first read that. It would be very appropriate right now. New York City is the safest big city in America, Mayor Bill de Blasio said Monday during an interview with MSNBC's Miss Nobody Cares, Jeff Bennett. The NYPD very, very consistently deals with quality of life crimes, hate crimes, the smaller things like graffiti for sure, de Blasio said, adding, "Look, this is the safest big city in America. I'm very proud of what the NYPD has done." Now, thank you, Free Kitten. That was exactly what I was thinking. Unless you're Jewish, oy vey. Now, I don't know what the rest of the crime in New York City's like, and could it be true? I don't know what data he's using, what data sets, what he considers a safest big. He qualifies it the safest big city in America. So maybe he's just comparing it between New York and Los Angeles. Maybe Los Angeles is a little more dangerous, unless you're Jewish. But I'm confused. His comments were in response to former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani's scathing criticism on Twitter Sunday, here's what Rudy Giuliani said on Sunday. Possibly the worst mayor in New York City, de Blasio has watched anti-Semitism rapidly metastasize like a cancer and is too unconcerned or lazy to nip it in the bud, otherwise called broken windows theory, which should be brought back. A coward in that he has yet, and I don't see the rest of the tweet there, but you got to remember, before Giuliani became mayor of New York City, it was a terrible place. It was a dangerous place, and Giuliani did a good job of cleaning up the city. And actually, Michael Bloomberg, who succeeded him, also did a pretty good job of keeping the city, on track. And de Blasio's just made all these stupid laws, like, they're not going to prosecute things for this and that, and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, his comments were a response to a former New York mayor, Rudy Giuliani's scathing criticism on Twitter Sunday. Quote, that's what Rudy Giuliani said. As a mayor, I got on anti-Semitism at the earliest possible moment. The attack on Ari Halberstam, I didn't ignore a dozen or so acts that let dangerous people out on bail who were a threat to citizens, he stated. This is Giuliani. My record on anti-Semitism is 35 years old, prosecuting ex-Nazis. Saturday, 5 Jewish people were stabbed during a Hanukkah celebration in Monsey, New York. According to Breitbart News, 38-year-old Grafton Thomas was arrested. We all know that story. We read about it yesterday. I'm not going to dwell on the story. During an interview on MSNBC's Weekends on Sunday, de Blasio appeared to blame President Trump's rhetoric for Saturday's horrific attack. Yeah, because Grafton Thomas is a rabid Trump supporter, I'm sure. Not. Quote, It's not time for a partisan discussion. Well, if you're blaming it on Trump, what are you talking about? It's not time for a partisan discussion, but the time to say some of the most hateful speeches emanating from Washington, D.C. Well, it's not time for a partisan discussion, but I blame President Trump. What we need our president to do is be a unifier, a calming, positive voice, reminding us of what we have in common as Americans. The mayor said, I don't think Grafton Thomas gives a flying patoofact. That was me saying a swear word, but not saying it. What Donald Trump says. I don't think that has anything to do with that. Anyway, that's what presidents have done for generations. We've missed that in the hateful speech, even if it's not inciting specific violence. Oh, that's how he qualifies it. The hateful speech, even if it's not inciting specific violence. You mean Thomas Grafton, Mayor de Blasio? Let's face it, we have seen these violent forces emboldened. Yes, Thomas Grafton, or Grafton Thomas, is emboldened by President Trump. I'm sure that's what it is in New York City. We saw it in Charlottesville. Well, what about New York City, sir? Charlottesville. Notice how, look, when was Charlottesville? What year? Anyone know off the top of their head what year Charlottesville was? Was that 2017? Was Charlottesville in 2000? I think. When did? Let's look that up. Let's figure out Charlottesville. Charlottesville protest. What year was that? Okay, here's the Charlottesville's timeline. Charlottesville. Give me a date somewhere in here. And not this. What the hell is this? How do you get this off my screen? Oh, this is the freaking Washington Post. Forget the Washington Post. Who cares? Charlottesville was in 2017. The Unite the Right rally. August 11th to 12th, 2017. Okay? Now, de Blasio has the balls to talk about Charlottesville. Let me ask you a quick question. Happy New Year, Mr. Dax. Happy fucking New Year. Ha ha. Happy New Year. Woohoo. All right. Charlottesville. Charlottesville happened in August of 2017. And he's talking about, we saw it in Charlottesville, we've seen it all over the country. Let me ask you a quick question. Just a tiny little question. Since Charlottesville, since that Charlottesville rally, the Unite the Right, and all the little tiki torch carrying fuckwad white supremacist ass wipes were going all over Charlottesville and kind of, mingling in with other people who probably didn't realize that these assholes were even there. Charlottesville. How many of these, violent forces, how many of these violent forces that since Charlottesville, August 2017, between then and now, the end of December 2019, how many more of those rallies have we seen? How many? How many have we seen? How many more Charlottesvilles have there been? Johnny Blaze, how you doing, man? Thank you so much. How many more Charlottesvilles have there been in the last 2.5 years since Charlottesville? That shithead incident, the shitheads with the tiki torches. How many more? These motherfuckers talk about Charlottesville like it's happened 20 times. Okay? Hasn't been one, has there? In fact, all that stuff has kind of gone away during the last couple years. Now, if truly Trump were emboldening these people, do you think they might have had at least a couple more big rallies? You think the numbers of those tiki torch carrying dickbags would have increased, and you'd see them in lots of different places around the country. Do you think they really feel emboldened? Now, granted, there have been very successful counter protests against them, but you know what? I got a feeling then when and now maybe the media didn't hear it. Maybe the people who are the progressives, the anti whatever those dickbags are called, protesters, didn't hear it when Trump said it. But when Trump said that the white supremacists and racists should be condemned, when he was, they say he never condemned them, even though he did. Remember the good people on both sides thing? And he was talking about the other people, they were just there to, talk about their heritage and the monuments, but the racists and white supremacists should be condemned. Do you think perhaps, even though those protesters of all those people didn't hear it, do you think maybe the dickbag white supremacist tiki torch carrying polo shirt ass wipes, do you think they heard that message and realized that Trump's not necessarily on their side? Do you think maybe they heard that? Because they haven't been around since. Now, some people might say the Nick Fuenteses of the world are part of that group, but I don't even think Nick Fuentes is part of that. He's just a young guy who doesn't know whatever he is. I don't care what he is. I don't want to talk about him. Where are they? Where are those violent forces that have been emboldened? Because in New York City, it's certainly not those violent sources that are attacking Jewish people in Crown Heights and what's this town, Monsey, and these other areas of New York City. I'm pretty sure they're not the white supremacist tiki torch bearing dickbags that supposedly that Trump is emboldening. Have there been other anti-Semitic events around the country? Yeah, one in California. Not a whole lot of Trump love in California. Now, the dickhead in Ohio, was it Ohio that it happened to? He kind of peripherally maybe had some whatever. But the real rise in anti-Semitic attacks are all happening in New York City. Not a whole lot of Trump support in New York City, especially with the brothers. The people who are doing the attacks in New York City, right? Is it just me? So, Mayor de Blasio, what's going on in your city, my friend? How about you look in the mirror and figure out what's happening in your city? I don't think this ain't coming from Trump. I know that for sure Grafton Thomas probably doesn't own a MAGA hat. Okay, I doubt it. I really doubt it. So, yeah, Mayor de Blasio, you can kiss my grits. 6, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming. Thanks for dropping in on my special 500 sub special. By the way, just a reminder, while you're thinking about it, if you would be so kind as to hit that share button and share this out to your friends and family and people on Facebook and Twitter and Reddit and Tumblr and LinkedIn and everywhere else you have social media. And hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And if you want to do super chats, you can do that through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. It doesn't look like it's sitting in my chat. My bots aren't working. But anyway, you can find it in the description down below if you want to do super chats and or make donations to the cause of the Morning Night Live. Keep the show going. It's a great incentive for me to keep going, even though your presence is also great incentive. So thanks for coming by. All right. So yeah, Mayor de Blasio, what a moron. Oh, I didn't even see these pictures on the side here. Whoa. Did you all notice? I didn't notice it. Did you? What is going on over there? Chiropractors baffled. Simple stretch relieves years of back pain. Okay. I might have to. No, I didn't touch. She might touch your pee-pee. No. The bitch you hate. Okay. Worse yet, I hear that picante sauce is not made by Pace. Not made by Pace. It's made in New York City. Get a rope. All right, we'll do one or two. Well, maybe do one more story. Let's see what else. Let me find a good one. Let me find a good story. Let's see. Here's some headlines. I'm just going to run through some headlines. And if you can stop me when you want. New York losing residents at an alarming rate. Yeah, we know that. Trump's biggest wins. We did that. The Great Revolt enters a new phase. The Great Revolt. I wonder what that is. The Great Revolt. The Great Revolt, the populist uprising of 2016 will reverberate in 2020. Oh, yeah. It's funny. In Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, Trump is now in polls leading every Democrat who's in the run for the nomination. He's leading all of them in the polls. And I think part of it has to do with impeachment. Let's see. 2020 vision. Democrat Doug Jones may lose re-election no matter how he votes on impeachment. Yeah, he's in, where's Doug Jones? I can't remember where he's from. Doug Jones, Democrat in Alabama. Yeah, the senator, freshman senator. Yeah, he's probably going to lose. I hate to break it to you. Doesn't matter how he votes. Alabama's done with their experience. I don't think that, the problem, if you're Doug Jones, help me in the chat. I can't remember who he ran against. He ran against, Roy Moore. Good God. I think Jeff Sessions is going to run for the Senate again. And Alabama's, regardless what you think of Jeff Sessions, Alabama loves Jeff Sessions. So Doug Jones could be in trouble. And he's up for re-election in 2020. All right. Hey, Check Your Logic. How you doing? Other headlines. Let's see. Trump plans to one-up the next Democratic debate. Oh, gosh. What is he going to do? This is from, I've never heard of News Thud. Oh, this is a Fox News report. I just got a feeling this is going to be funny, so I clicked it. President Trump's 2020 re-election campaign announced Monday that it will hold a rally in Wisconsin on January 14th, the same evening that Democrats gather in an early caucus state of Iowa for the first presidential primary debate of the new year. Trump will appear at the rally at the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena in Wisconsin, a state that played a crucial role in his election in 2016. President Trump has delivered for Wisconsin, creating 37,400 new jobs, including 4,900 new manufacturing jobs and 13,800 new construction jobs, according to Michael Glasner, Chief Operating Officer for Donald Trump for President, Inc. President Trump looks forward to returning to the Badger State to celebrate his messages of promises made, promises kept. Wisconsin is a must-win state. He's going to have a rally the same night as the Democratic debate. That's great. I wonder which one Fox News will cover. What their debate schedule? Let's see. What date is that? January 14th. This is just, there have been so many Democratic debates that people are really just no longer tuning in. Just look at how the ratings have fallen. So they started out with, 23 million in these first ones, 27 million, 11.5 million, 13.8 million. But the last three have been 8.3 million, 7.9 million, 6.6 million. So yeah, nobody's tuning in to them anymore. And I think they're just tired of it. But I think maybe when they get down to, well, they're almost down to 3 candidates now. Does anyone think that anyone besides Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders can win the nomination? I don't think Elizabeth Warren can win it. Amy Klobuchar, no. Buttigieg, I don't think so. I really still think, and I don't know why, I still have this feeling that Hillary Clinton may decide to jump in the race at the last minute. Oh, Bloomberg said something stupid today. I forgot about Bloomberg. He's still in it. And what's the other guy? The Steyer. Get real. All right, so that was that. Let's see what else. Trump plans. Okay, Joe Bribham, he says. Joe Biden says he considered Biden said he would consider making a Republican his running mate. Oh my God, did people lose their minds on Twitter? Oh my gosh, people went nuts. Oh my God, this was hilarious. Let's see if it'll fit on the screen. No, it won't. I'll put it full screen here. Joe Biden said he considered making a Republican his running mate. Former Vice President Joe Biden said Monday of course, now he qualified by saying, well, there isn't anyone that I, would consider now. He considered making Republicans running mate if he wins the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination. The Democratic presidential frontrunner did not name any Republicans he has in mind, according to the CBS 2020 campaign reporter Bo Erickson. I would, Biden said, but added he couldn't think of anyone at the moment. He made bipartisanship a pillar of his campaign and has suggested that his candidacy could draw support for Republican donors and politicians. Now, here's the funny thing about that. The reason people were so pissed off on Twitter when that came out because they're like, wait a minute, you're going to be freaking 80 years old if you win the presidency. You'll probably die in the first 2 or 3 years, and then we'll have a Republican for president again. So, Joe, he just open mouth, insert foot. Anyway, the Democrats are having none of that shit. First generation Trump supporting minority challenges Brokeback Booker for a Senate seat. These are from the Morning Report with J.J. Sefton. So he has a very colorful way of headlining his links to the stories. Apparently there's a first generation Indian, as in Asian Indian, who's running against Booker for a Senate seat in New Jersey. Mayor Buttigieg tells school kids. This is the one. Ted Cruz took him apart on this one. Let me do the twitchy version of this story. So Buttigieg was talking to some school kids. And he told these school kids, speaking of school children, South Bend Mayor, I'll put it on the screen, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg tried to ensure that they knew two things. That the founders of the United States who wrote the Constitution were ignorant about slavery being a bad thing, and that they also did not respect civil rights. The implication being that the only the enlightened Americans of today have a real grasp of what is right and true. Buttigieg stated, similarly, the amendment process, they were wise enough to realize that they didn't have all the answers and that some things would change. A good example of this is something like slavery or civil rights. It's an embarrassing thing to admit, but the people who wrote the Constitution did not understand that slavery was a bad thing. They did not respect civil rights, and yet they created a framework so that as the generations came to understand that that was important, they could write that into the Constitution too and ensure true equal protection for all. Now, do they have? I want to go to Ted Cruz's response because his was phenomenal. Let me find his response because Ted Cruz basically gave us a history lesson. Twitchy.com, Twitchy. There we go. No, not Drudge. I don't want Drudge. I want Twitchy. Twitchy. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Buttigieg. Just a second here. Oh shoot, where is it? I had it. Here, let's do a search. What the hell? I want to search. Oh. Come on. Work. There we go. Sorry, guys. This is not working. Ted Cruz. Oh shoot. This is his response to this was just awesome. And this is how we're going to end too, if I can find it. Let's see. Let's go back here. I'll find it in a second. Wait, Mr. Dax. As Hill? Okay. Did they get rid of it? It was fantastic. Where is it? Oh, I didn't scroll far enough. That's why. Well, what the hell? Anyway, let's go back to this article because so anyway, historian and columnist Jay Cost, who's the author of The Price of Greatness, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and the Creation of American Oligarchy. I'll put this back up. Ripped Buttigieg started by tweeting, "The ignorance is astounding." Cost continued, "The guy who literally wrote the text of the Constitution, Gouverneur Morris, gave an amazing series of speeches in Philadelphia denouncing slavery." Sean Trend at Real Clear Politics tweeted, "A major plot line of that musical that everyone fell over themselves about the last 4 years was that the protagonist, primary antagonist, and their friends were all early abolitionists." To buttress his argument, Cost quoted the Madison debates from August 8th, 1787, which the notes state, "Mr. Gouverneur Morris moved to insert 'free' before the words 'inhabitants.' Much, he said, would depend on this point. He never would concur in upholding domestic slavery. It was a nefarious institution. It was the curse of heaven on the states where it prevailed. Compare the free regions of the middle states, where rich and noble cultivation marks the prosperity and happiness of the people, with the misery and poverty which overspread the barren waste of Virginia, Maryland, and other states having slaves. Travel through ye whole continent, and you behold the prospect continually varying with the appearance and disappearance of slavery. The moment you leave ye east states and enter New York, the effects of the institution become visible. Passing through Jerseys and entering Pennsylvania, every criterion of superior improvement witnesses the change. Proceed southwardly, and every step you take through ye great region of slaves present a desert increasing with ye increasing proportion of these wretched beings. Upon what principle it is that the slaves shall be computed in the representation? Are they men? Make them citizens and let them vote. Are they property? Why then is no other property included? The houses in this city, Philadelphia, are worth more than all the wretched slaves which cover the rice swamps of South Carolina. The admission of slaves into the representation, when fairly explained, comes to this, that the inhabitants of Georgia and South Carolina, who goes to the coast of Africa and in the defiance of the most sacred laws of humanity tears away his fellow creatures from their dearest connections and damns them to the most cruel bondages, shall have more votes in a government instituted for protection of their rights of mankind than the citizen of Pennsylvania or New Jersey, whose views with a laudable horror so nefarious a practice." So he was arguing that why should they be able to count the slaves at all if they cannot vote? Also, Alexander Hamilton. There's a bunch of the people who were signers of the initial Constitution were abolitionists. In fact, our second president, John Adams? John Adams was vehemently anti-slavery. So, yeah, shut up, Buttigieg. Anyway, so that's going to be it for today. Hey, guys. I want to thank you guys for popping in today. I know this was kind of an impromptu thing, but I was so happy to have the old 500 subs. Now, I'm going to go, if I go click it now, I bet I'm at 499. Somebody probably unsubbed after this stream. But that's the perils of throwing your opinions out there on a regular basis. You can't, if you throw your opinions out there, sometimes people aren't happy, sometimes they are. I can't do anything about that, but I'm just going to keep doing it. Nope, we're still at 500. Anyway, do me a favor. If you haven't done so on the way out, make sure you hit the like button. And you can also make sure if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And if you liked what we do here, did I say like button already? Oh, share, subscribe, bell, like, and super chats. That's the other thing. Donation super chats through the Streamlabs link through the description down below. You can also follow me on Twitter at PDogKnight. Don't put any punctuation or spaces. And that's how you can find me. And I also use Venmo sometimes for donations. Still at PDogKnight. And on Gab at PDogKnight. And on Minds at PDogKnight. And my email, pdogknight@gmail.com. We're going to add a hashtag for 2020 so you can put stories under a hashtag. But for now, you can just @ me. If you're adding stories to Monkey in the Morning and the Lords of the Night and all those things, you can just put a @pdogknight until I have my own hashtag. I'm thinking maybe nightly news spelled as in the way I spell my last name, Knight, KNIGHTLY news. I kind of like that. It's a little long, but it seems like it would work. Anyway, that's it for today. Please, if you're going to go out tonight and have some cocktails and enjoy the new year, please, 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 please be safe. Have a nice meal. Drink water in between drinks. And don't drink and drive. Take an Uber or something, although Uber rates on New Year's Eve. Ooh, pretty hefty. Or just stay put. Just go somewhere and stay there and don't go anywhere else. But please be safe on this New Year's. Please have a happy New Year. I will be here tomorrow morning at the same time that I normally am, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for those people in the other parts of the world like Mr. Dax and Richo. Happy New Year to people who already had the new year, and Happy New Year to everyone about to have a new year. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. My name is PDogKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDogKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDogKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDogKnight, and I'm out of here.